Once again, welcome back to the information station where we provide information that can help change your situation to empower you to have your very own motivation. My name is Shahid, and thanks for joining me. Let's get into this topic, that I don't think has truly been addressed. I don't think this is something that has been addressed and we don't talk about enough. But that is, what does it take to truly becoming a man? What does that mean? We hear it all the time. People say, well, man up, act like a man, So, but what are they really saying? So I want to cover 5 tips to what it takes to truly become a man and what's expected of you as a man. Now, we all know that there's certain things that is exclusive to a woman, like when it comes to her cycle, when it comes to bringing forth children, being able to feed that child. The universe provides her with milk, So if she was in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a desert, and gave birth to a child, she would be able to feed that child and give it everything that it needs while they're in that situation. But when it comes to men, what is it that's exclusive to us? What is it that we have to endure that no other person has to endure? That's exclusive to only men. Now, you might think, well, a woman can do these things too. Sure, of course they can. But this is something that men should understand, that this is their position. This is something that's exclusive mainly for men. So I want to bring you 5 tips that, that put you on the right track, that will, give you something to evaluate, give you a checklist of just a few of the things that's required as men. Now, number 1, the first thing a man should always do is take care of himself. Now, a lot of women don't like to hear that. A lot of people don't like to hear that. When you tell a man that it is very important that you take care of yourself. You see, and people like to call you selfish when you perform this type of act. People like to say that you're selfish, or all you care about is yourself. Well, okay. In this case, it's okay to be selfish. Now, this is the one thing that no one really tells men. Take care of yourself, bro. You see, in order for you to be a resource for others to draw from, in order for you to have something to give to everybody else, well, hell, it starts with your health. You see, what good is it being the head if the head goes down? What good is it? What good is it being the head of your house if you're all broke up, sick? What can you contribute? You see, a lot of times people call on men. They call on us for this. You got our mothers call on us, our sisters call on us, our wife wants us, our daughter wants us, and we're being pulled and drawn in all different directions. And you know what? We like that because as men, we love being problem solvers. That's one of the things that we have. We love being problem solvers. We love when people call on us. See, people call on you for one reason, because they know you're effective. That's the only reason why people call on you. People call on you and demand so much of you because they know that you are effective. If your daughter calls and she needs you to fix something, in her house or whatever, she know her dad can do it. If your wife calls on you and something's wrong with the car, she know you can handle it. So they call on us because they know that we're effective. Now, you can't get upset at that, because we like knowing that people trust in us and people believe that we're effective. So we can't get upset when they call. It's part of it. But men, you have to understand that none of this matters if you're broken, if none of this matter if you're sick, So if you got a wife who constantly complained about you going to the gym, yo, bro, this is the one time that you should be selfish and say, you know what? I'm going to the gym. You see, because in order for you to be there when they need you, in order for you to be there for your family and to be a resource for them to draw from, well, then you have to take care of yourself, and not just physically. Man, you should take care of yourself mentally. You should do whatever it takes to take care of your sanity, to take care of your health, your spiritual connection with your higher self. You see, understand that there's one thing that all men in biblical times had in common. Whether it was Muhammad, whether it was Buddha, whether it was David, whether it was Joseph, whether it was Moses, Christ. And that is, they all got to a place to be alone with God. Now, you could be the creator, if you're not into the God terminology, but you understand my point. They all got to a place to be alone. You see, we understand that prayer is when you talk to God, but it is through quiet and stillness that God talks to you. So taking care of your mental is important. And brothers, you're not going to find that, smoking them trees. You're not going to find that, from that bottle. You only find that from spending time with your higher self. See, that's how we receive instruction. You see, so when it comes to taking care of your physical health as well as your mental health, that's something that cannot be negotiated. And a lot of men fail in that area. We run around and we put out fires for everybody else, but we fail to take care of ourselves. It's almost easier for some men to run around and paint this and do that and haul this and haul that and cut this and cut that. It's easier for them to do that than to take care of themselves. So it's extremely important, fellas, that you take care of yourself. I want to start there. Number 2, you have to make decisions. You see, a man has to make decisions. And brothers, I'm here to let you know, half of those decisions, nobody's going to support you. You got to make decisions that are unpopular at times. You see, but it's up to the man that you have to put your foot down. You have to make the final call is on you. You can discuss stuff with your wife. You can discuss stuff with your girlfriend. You can talk about it. You can do all of that. But at the end of the day, you got to make a decision. That's what men do. Even if those decisions aren't popular. Even if everybody's not on board with the decisions we make. Now, this is going to become a lot clearer as I get into 3, 4, and 5. Because we got to be careful with these decisions. We got to make sure that the decision you make comes from the right place. You see, earlier, I think it was last night, I was watching the movie Coach Carter, with Samuel L. Jackson. And, he came to this high school, I think it was Richmond, California or something. He came to this high school that had won 4 games the previous year. And when Coach Carter came to take over the team, he had his players fill out a contract. In the contract, now this is high school, the contract was that they would have to keep their grades up, maintain a certain GPA, and to conduct themselves in a certain way in order to be on the team. Now, he took this team to an undefeated record. I believe the team was something like 9-0, 10-0, where they had only won 4 games the previous year. So now the city is buzzing, the parents, the staff, the school, the whole city is buzzing because of this team's turnaround. Now understand, when Coach Carter got their grades, he realized that they wasn't keeping up their end of the bargain. So what did he do? He put a lock on the gym. He chained the doors. And though they were winning on the court, he seen that that wasn't going to be enough, because he understood that in order for them to get to college, they would have to maintain a certain GPA. Now, he cared about them kids outside of basketball. But you know what? The parents, the staff, the city, they could care less about that. All they cared about was that they were winning on the court. So Coach Carter basically locked up the gym, and they had forfeited, the prior game because he wasn't allowed them to play. And not only that, they had the biggest game of the year was the next week. Well, they missed that game too. So they held a council meeting and everybody wanted to fire him. They wanted to get rid of him. Now, mind you, the man came in and turned the whole program around. But guess what? He demanded of them. They agreed that they would maintain a certain GPA. And they didn't do it. They wasn't going to class. So he had to make a decision. And it was not popular at all with anyone. But that's what you got to do as a man. You got to make decisions, even if everybody is against you. Even if everybody turns their back on you, you have to make the decision, good or bad. Now, number 3, you have to have the best interests of the family. You have to have the best interests of the family. So while you're doing number 1, taking care of your health, and I said it's okay to be selfish, you see, you're not doing it for selfish reasons. You're doing it so that you can have the best interests of the family. When I say make a decision, you're not making these decisions based upon your ego. You're making these decisions based on the best interests of the family. You have to always have the best interests of those around you, whether it's your mother, whether it's your sister, whether it's your brother, whether it's your wife, your kids. Everything you do as a man is for the best interests of those around you. See, this is how you separate the ego from the spirit. See, the ego is when you only care about yourself. The ego is when nobody else matters. The only person you care about is you. That's your ego, fellas. But when you are spiritually led, see, this is why I said you got to take care of the mental. This is why you got to get alone. This is why you got to receive instruction. because that instruction will empower you. It will empower you to make the necessary moves for the best interest of the whole. That's what men do. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's definitely unfair. I'm going to tell you something that's unfair. That's not how I work with women. That's not how I work with women. Women take care of them and their kids. Now, sure, if you lose your job, your lady might hold it down for a minute, but you best believe that got an expiration date on it. That has an expiration date on it. Oh, she'll hold it down for a little while. And I mean a little while. But her move is for the best interest of her and the kids. But a man, your move has to be for the best interest of everybody. Sounds unfair. Well, like I said, they got to give birth. They got to have their cycle. They got things that's exclusive to them. And I'm going to be the first. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. This right here, this is part of being a man, bro. You see, it sounds unfair, but as I continue, you'll realize it's really not. It's okay. We can handle that. We can handle that. Because if you are married and your wife lose her job, come on, bro. 90% of men ain't going nowhere. We'll do whatever we have to do to take care of her, the family, the house. Even if we got to downsize, even if we got to cut back, whatever we got to do, that's what men do. Only women and children are loved unconditionally. Not men. Ours have a condition. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm going to tell you why it's okay. Because when you make decisions and you put everything and you make sure that everything you do is for the best interest of the household, sometime that household will turn its back on you. Sometime that woman will walk out the door and leave you. I've been through it. I've been divorced. 10 years married. 10 years married. So I've been there. So I'm not telling you this of talking about something that I heard. I'm talking about something that I know. See, but here's the problem with most men, and I know a lot of men out there can relate to this. Now, let me give a quick sidebar. If you're single, if you don't have any kids, if you ain't got no responsibility, hey, brother, you can be as selfish as you want. If it's only you, you don't have no sisters, you ain't got no brothers, you ain't got no mother, and all you got to worry about is yourself, then this is a whole different story. Take care of you. Do your thing, boy. Do your thing. Do your thing, bro. But to the ones that got families, to the ones that have kids, to the ones that have sisters, brothers, younger siblings, a mother that you're trying to help. You see, when you put everything in place, see, the reason why so many men are broken, the reason why so many men are bitter, the reason why so many men are hurt, because women have walked away and these guys have nothing. And they're pissed about it. Not even their health. Because they put everybody first and neglected to take care of themselves. See, what I'm telling you, that if you take care of yourself first and make sure you're okay while making decisions and putting the best interests of the family, If it happened that you have to go through a divorce, guess what? You're good. Mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, you're good. See, but what happens is a lot of men get married and they let themselves go. A lot of men get married and they start to get overweight, start to neglect taking care of themselves because they're running around putting out fires for everybody else. And this is where they make their mistake. They used to go to the gym all the time, but their wife complained about why you always got to be gone, why you always got to be gone. So guess what? You stop. You try to eat right. Nah, everybody not on board. So you give in and you let yourself go. So now you're used up, you're broken, you're unhealthy, and you're angry. Now you can't even get out there and start over. Now you can't even find a good woman if you want one. So it's important that you take care of yourself. It starts with you. You set the precedence for the house. How you're going to eat, what we're going to eat, what food you shop and bring into here. Fellas, you got to keep this in mind. Because I'm telling you, it's conditional. This is something I learned. And I'm putting a lot into one video, but this is something that I learned. You can be with somebody for 20 years and still not know them. Wow. You could be with somebody 20 years and still not know who you're with. Let me tell you what I mean. You can meet a woman. You're doing great business-wise. She's doing great business-wise. So when y'all come together, your elevator just kept rising. Kept rising. 20 years, your elevator just kept rising. She came in, she might have just graduated college. This is my situation. This is why I can speak on it. I own my business for over 20 years. So when we came together, brother, the elevator just went up. She had 2 kids. I had 3 kids. We had 5 together, And the elevator just went up every year. But here's the thing. You don't know how they handle a crisis. You see, the whole 20 years y'all been together, the elevator just kept going up. So you don't know how that person will handle when the elevator is now out of service. You don't know how that person would handle now that you have to struggle. You see, this is what I mean. Women love to meet a man that's on top. Oh, that's good. But they didn't see how you got there. But that's another video. I'm going to cover that a little bit later. But I need you to understand this. And this is what happened to a lot of men. It's like as soon as things got hard, as soon as you hit a wall, as soon as a crisis came up, oh, now you get to meet somebody different. Now you meet somebody that you never knew. I know brothers can relate to this. Because all they know and all they ever seen was things going up. So yeah, you can be with a person 20 years and still not know who you're with. Now, having the best interests of everybody else in the house, this is what a man does. To me, that's the true definition of love. Love is when you have the other person's best interests, even if it doesn't benefit you. So that's something you have to do as a man. Your job is to make sure everybody else is okay. Number 4, you have to have the answer. You have to have the answer. I always say there's 3 things you never say to a woman that you're in a relationship with. And those 3 words are, I don't know. I don't know. But those 3 words you never say to a woman. Because you got to understand something. Are you not the CEO of your household? Are you not the head? In other words, the buck stops here. You have the final word. So when somebody comes to the CEO with a problem, the CEO don't say, I don't know. Now, hear me, fellas, and hear me out, because I know a lot of y'all, kind of cringe and don't quite understand this. It doesn't mean you have to know everything. I'm not saying that you have to know it all. But it is your job to find the answer. Your woman might come to you and say, baby, the light bill is due. How are we going to pay the light bill? I don't know. Huh? Bruh. Men don't do that. We can't look at her and say, I don't know. It's your job to know. Now, understand this here. Like I said, you don't have to know it all. But when your wife come ask you a question, when your girlfriend asks you a question, when your children ask you a question, even if you don't know the answer, you know what you do? You say, damn, that's a good question. Damn, that's a real good question. Let me look into that. I'll get back to you. Let me look into that. That's interesting. And you go take the necessary steps to find the answer. Let me tell you what ends up happening and why this is dangerous for you to say, I don't know. You leave it for the next man to know. Oh, yeah. You see, when she's at work around her coworkers, and you got Michael over here, and Michael seemed to be the smart one in the group, and she going to him with her issues, and he has the answer. Guess what, fellas? After a while, he becomes the go-to. After a while, he becomes the one that she go to for her answers. And he becomes the problem solver. And I hate to break it to you, not too long after this, he'll start to solve other problems for her. Because she'll start to look up to him. She'll stop asking you altogether. I'm telling you this, fellas, because I've been the guy at work. But luckily, I'm a conscious brother. And don't get into the foolishness. So I thank God I'm who I am. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing more attractive to a woman than a man who can, provide the answer. Someone who can provide the information. So I'm letting you know, when your woman keep coming to you and she's asking you things and you keep saying, I don't know, while playing the video game, and she walk away, just know, you'll start to realize she don't even come to you no more. Now, if you're getting value out of this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell as I upload twice a week. Now, the number one thing that a man always has to do is that he has to always think ahead. A man has to be the visionary. He has to be the visionary of his household. So he has to always think ahead. You see, I noticed that the thing that frustrates most people is when they're caught off guard. You know, when they're blindsided by something. However, if you looked at the forecast and you know that it's going to rain, you know to bring an umbrella. So you're prepared. You see, this is a huge problem because women are, they're more day to day. Their moods change from day to day. They swing from day to day. But a man can't get caught up in that. You can't get caught up in, your emotions daily. A man has to set the plan and walk it out. A man has to kind of see the pitfalls ahead before he crashes into it. And then make the necessary changes based upon what he sees. This is your job, fellas. It's not her job to know. It's your job to know. You see, everything that I'm telling you, everything that I'm recommending, if you really, really absorb it, if you really understand it, it's all about you. It's all about you. Listen, whether you're together and you're married and can stay together 40 years or 50 years, that don't happen much nowadays, does it? Or that woman turn her back and walk away. You are still in the position to keep moving. You are still in the position to carry on. You won't fall. This will not break you. This will not break you. This is something that, I want men to understand, because I'm trying to stop you from being in the position of hitting a brick wall, losing everything, drinking too much, smoking too much, partying too much, running too much, everything that's going to be detrimental to your growth. You see, you do all this for your family. But everything that I said benefits you as well. It benefits you as well. And this is how you remain standing. If everybody walk away from you, you're still standing. Why? Because you took care of yourself. You made the right decisions. You can look in the mirror at the end of the day and know that you had the best interests of everyone in the family. That's important. That's very important. I got a whole nother video set up for that. But when you look in that mirror at the end of the day, and you can say, did I love him? Yes, I did. Did I have her best interests? Without a doubt. Is there anything that I would do different? No. Are you satisfied with what you have done? Honestly and righteously. If you can answer that question righteously, bruh, ain't nothing but good things for you ahead. As long as you can answer that question righteously, you ain't got to worry about nothing else. Now, don't fool yourself. If there's things you could have done better, write those things down. You're going to need them. Is there things you didn't do enough of? Write those things down. You're going to need them. But it all starts with you being real with yourself. Now, if you can look in that mirror and you can say, I'm satisfied, I'm content. I know what type of man I was. I know if she walks away and she don't see the bigger picture, that's on her. People come in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. But regardless of which one it is, you're going to be better at the end of it. Regardless of which one it is, you're going to be able to stand. Whether she came in there for a reason or a season, then you learned something. But guess what? Because you made those right decisions, you can split, you can do what she got to do. She get what she get, you get what you get, and you can move on. And you are much better prepared for the next relationship or to stay single, which is what a lot of men is doing now. They're staying single. So when you take care of those things, man, that's your position as men. And let me give you a quick sidebar. Men, never cry in front of your woman. I hope y'all made it to the end of this video because this right here is a bonus. I hope you made it to the end. But you don't never cry in front of your woman. Forget what you heard. Forget what they tell you. Oh, you can show their emotions. No, baby, you can cry on my shoulder. You don't never cry in front of a woman. It's not what men do. Now, I'm not saying men don't cry. I said you don't cry in front of her. You don't cry on her. You don't cry in front of her. That's not what men do. Now, as a man, like I said, when you are taking care of yourself, go back to number one. That means you need to have a group of men who are married, if you're married, and are in relationships, if you're in a relationship. You can't talk to single brothers if you're doing something different. I know you got your single friends, but them ain't the ones you talk to about your marriage problems. They can't relate, brother. They can't relate. So you don't take your married problems to your single friends. But you should have a group of men in your life, whether it's kinfolk or not, whether it's your brother, your uncle, your father, your cousin, or your boy. You should have men in your life that if you got to cry, you cry with your boy. Don't cry on the woman. Because women don't forget that image. I don't care what you say. I don't care how much she sit here and try to tell you it's okay. You can cry on me. No, you don't. I remember when I lost my father. I lost my dad, 2000. And I was out of town when I got the call. I was at my daughter's mom's house in another state. So I got that phone call that my dad had passed away. I was broken. You see, my mom and dad was married 51 years. So when I tell you about a man, I can tell you because I had one in my life every day. I'm not speaking from something that I did not experience. This is why I'm sharing it with y'all. Because I know a lot of y'all did not have your dad in your life. Okay, so I'm here as a man who had his father, who can pass that on. But when I got that call that my dad died, now mind you, this is I'm visiting my daughter, so this is my ex-girl, and my family knew I went to visit her, so they called. And when I got that call that my dad died, I was broken, y'all. I was broken. I was distraught. And I kept noticing that my ex-girl at the time kept trying to get close enough to me because she kept wanting to hug me, kept wanting to put her arms around me. Now, you got to know something about me. I don't trust myself with just anybody. I don't hand myself over to just anybody, especially when I'm wounded. When I'm wounded and I got an open cut, and believe me, that news cut me deep. I would not allow her to be the one to console or for me to cry on her shoulders. So my daughter didn't see me break down, but she was young at the time. She was about maybe 4. She didn't see me break down, nor her mother. She seen me hurt. She knew I was affected, but I wouldn't cry on her. The first person that I got to put to get in contact with and to be face to face with was my partner Malik. And when I seen Malik, I fell in Malik's arms, bro. I lost it. But I cried on my man. I cried on my dude, man, because I knew our relationship. I knew how close me and my man was. So I never cry on a woman. And I don't recommend that you do so. You see, you got a picture. Elon Musk, the one who put out Tesla. When he was trying to put Tesla out, he was going bankrupt. He was losing everything trying to get Tesla afloat, trying to get this vehicle to be up to par. And he had some hard nights. You got to check out his autobiography. And he went through some things trying to get Tesla afloat. And I'm quite sure he went home many nights broken. But when his wife would come and say, hey, how's everything? He had to put that face on. Everything going good. Everything all right. We're going to get there. We're going to get to that deadline. But trust me, I'm quite sure when he was around his team or around his vice man or his second man or his third man, I'm quite sure they had some times when they can really let it go. So men, don't break down and boo-hoo and cry in front of a woman. That's not what we do. Have somebody in your life, a partner, a brother, a father, a cousin, an uncle. Have somebody in your life that you can be real with. That you can, if they ask you, you're doing okay, you can say, no, I'm not doing okay. This is driving me crazy. I'm not doing okay. But don't show that with your lady. Man, y'all guys be crying in front of y'all women and crying to y'all women, and y'all women be recording that crap and showing it to their girlfriends. Girl, look at him. Look at him crying like a little girl. Don't fall for it, dudes. Don't fall for it. So don't ever break down and cry in front of a woman. But this is what I mean by you got to think ahead. You got to have stuff mapped out for the next step, and the next step, and the next step. Like I said, making decisions, and the next step, and the next step. That's your job. They bring forth children. We make the tough decisions. And we put everybody first. And this is what I was trying to tell you. When I was saying that, women are conditional. Women take care of them and the children. Not women take care of you, them and the children. No. Don't work like that. Don't work like that. Women take care of them. Now, you take care of all. How does this benefit you? Like I said, if somebody walk away, you good. If somebody turn their back on you, cheat on you, divorce you, whatever, guess what? Ain't no thing. That just wasn't the one for you. Men don't cry. We don't sit here and worry about that. It's all good. It's all good. And you still standing, and you're still strong, and you're still able to move on. But yeah, once again, man, hit that like button if you're getting value out of this, man. And don't forget to subscribe and let me know. Let me know what do you think? Give me some of your things of what you feel it takes to be a man. Let me know what you agree with. Let me know what you disagree with. You see, but leave me a comment, man. Let's talk. Let's talk. You know, I'm here to empower people. I'm here to bring information that can help change your situation, which would empower you to have your very own motivation. Now, why is that important? Because whatever it is you're doing, motivation wears off. But when you have the correct information, that lasts. That's something you can use. That's something that will give you the motivation to do whatever endeavor it is you're trying to do. Yo, my name is Shahid. Thanks for joining.